Let's take a look at some aircraft accident situations we've collected. I think you'll find them interesting. Let's begin. First, this aircraft encountered trouble during takeoff and crashed onto a road near a residential area. 2 people on board were killed. A mother and her child in a car that collided with the aircraft were injured, but their injuries were not life-threatening.
Fucking be kidding me!
Oh.
You gotta be kidding me! Yes,
This is the moment a Tu-22M3 bomber crashed on January 22, 2019, while landing at the Olenogorsk Air Base of the Long Range Aviation Regiment. In this incident, an aircraft performing at the Patrie de France air show suddenly lost altitude and plunged into the water. The pilot was unable to eject in time and went missing. His body was recovered several hours later. Diners flying in to a lakeside restaurant along Lake St. Clair in Michigan's Thumb region experienced a rough landing when their helicopter suddenly flipped over. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. The Freccia RG aircraft suffered a failure and fell from the sky. It exploded into a massive fireball and was completely destroyed on impact. Both people on board, believed to be a 75-year-old man and a 60-year-old woman, were killed. No one on the ground was injured. This aircraft was preparing for a water landing, but the pilot made a mistake that led to a crash. This aircraft was performing at the Cocoa Beach Air Show when it suddenly encountered a problem. Fortunately, it did not hit anyone, and the pilot was safe.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
This helicopter was performing a rescue mission when it encountered a problem. The helicopter crashed, and 2 of the 6 people on board were killed. About 3 minutes after takeoff, the pilot decided to return to the departure airport due to bad weather. While flying parallel to the runway, the pilot turned early into the base leg for unknown reasons and descended too low. During the final approach, the aircraft suddenly turned about 90 degrees to the right and crashed. The plane was destroyed by fire, and the pilot was killed. The aircraft had just lifted off and was climbing when it suddenly plunged straight to the ground. The pilot was killed in the crash. An inspection found no engine failure, and investigators suspect the pilot may have suffered a heart attack due to a known heart condition. This aircraft was on a rescue mission, but the pilot had no idea he was about to become the one needing rescue. This aircraft was landing when the nose landing gear suddenly collapsed. This aircraft was attempting to land in severe weather. Heavy rain and strong winds affected the approach, leading to a disaster. The captain failed to perform the proper flare during landing, but fortunately the incident did not turn out to be serious. This aircraft is landing in strong crosswind conditions. Let's see how the captain handles the situation.
Das ging Banner in die Hose. Ich glaube, dass sie das gleich einstellen hier. Glaube ich auch. Das hat gesehen, der den Flügel doch meiner Meinung nach berührt, ne?
This aircraft was started by hand with no one inside. As the propeller accelerated, the plane went out of control, rolled into the crowd, and ran over a young girl. Fortunately, she suffered only minor facial injuries, and no one else was hurt. The tail of this CH-53 helicopter suddenly began to shake violently during a low-altitude military mission. The helicopter lost control, crashed, and burst into flames. A single-engine aircraft was forced to make an emergency landing in traffic in Gainesville, Georgia. The plane struck several vehicles, but fortunately, no serious injuries were reported. This video captures a real-time aircraft emergency and shows how the pilot handled the situation. Here is another cockpit recording of an aircraft encountering trouble in mid-air, but this time, the pilot was not as fortunate as the one in the previous incident. This aircraft was performing at an air show, but the pilot lacked situational awareness while executing a turning maneuver. This aircraft encountered a problem and was forced to make an emergency landing on a beach crowded with swimmers. Fortunately, neither the pilot nor anyone on the beach was injured. During landing, this aircraft touched down more than halfway down the runway. The pilot applied heavy braking, but the plane slid along the runway and crashed into a snowbank at the end. This helicopter was attempting to take off from a very tight area surrounded by trees and power lines. After lifting slightly, it suddenly lost balance and collided with a tree.
Practicing, holy shit.
This Schweitzer 300 helicopter crashed during an aerial demonstration. The pilot was performing a maneuver called a wing-over when the helicopter flipped and suddenly fell to the ground. This Airbus A300 slid off the runway during an emergency landing after the nose landing gear failed during takeoff. Fortunately, no casualties were reported. An aircraft carrying 56 passengers and 4 crew members landed safely at Kochi Airport in southern Japan after the nose landing gear failed to deploy. The plane touched down on its rear wheels and rolled along the runway before the nose finally contacted the ground. Fortunately, no serious incident followed. Captured on camera. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to support the channel and help us create more content. Thank you, and see you next time.